everyone, Charlotte from New Zealand Shores jumping in for the last week of September. We've just had a couple of announcements in the last few days that I'd like to just keep you up to speed on. Plus I've just got a couple of reminders about some upcoming announcements and policy changes that everyone should stay across. So first off, we'll get to the juicy stuff, which is of course the border reopening process. It was announced yesterday at the government's post-cabinet meeting that from October they will be implementing two parts of their four-step plan to open the border. So the first one that is coming into effect is they are allowing a small cohort, 150 people who are business travellers that are either New Zealand citizens or residents, to actually skip managed isolation and isolate at home. So that it could apply to people who are already offshore, or it could apply to people who are leaving and then arriving back into New Zealand before the 22nd of December. So it's a really important step. It does give the government to, I guess, have a look at how that process of managed isolation at home will work, and will hopefully be another toolbox that they can add to their COVID-19 response. And if all goes well, it will definitely be something we will see implemented for hopefully people from low risk countries who are vaccinated early next year. It will help to address some of those bottlenecks that we've been seeing for managed isolation, which is actually one of the main reasons that we haven't seen a greater number of people be able to enter New Zealand to date. So far, everyone has to go into those managed isolation hotels. There are, of course, only a set number of beds or rooms available at any given time, and the priority has to be given to critical workers and New Zealand citizens and residents returning home. So hopefully we can see that group of people expanded a bit more, and have especially have a lot more skilled workers entering New Zealand and students potentially in the future. So yeah, all going well, we should start to see more of that start to happen early next year. The other thing the New Zealand government has announced is that they will be allowing quarantine-free travel for REC workers coming from Vanuatu, Samoa and Tonga. So that kicks off from the 12th of October. It's a really brilliant move for our primary sector, farming, agriculture, orchards, vineyards. They have all been screaming out to have greater movement at the border for a lot of these seasonal workers that they rely on. So that will really alleviate some of those pressures that those businesses have been facing. They will have to also go into managed isolation at a home address for 5 days. So it isn't completely quarantine free, but once again, it is another step in the government actually starting to open up the border, allowing greater travel, less pressures on MIQ, less bottlenecks, which will eventually result in more people being able to enter. We are apparently still on track for greater restrictions being eased from sort of early 2022 as well. So obviously, as the government announces these updates, we will absolutely share them with you. The other thing I do just want to cover off, which is really important, the work to residence or talent visas cease to exist from the 1st of November. So no new applications will be accepted or under that policy from that date. You can apply up until the 31st of October. So as long as you get your application in by midnight, 31st of October, it will still be processed under that policy. That does primarily affect accredited employers. So that's employers accredited under the current accreditation system, not the new accreditation system that we're looking at next year. And it does affect those on the long-term skill shortage list who are wanting to also apply for those work-to-resident work visas. So if you feel like you're in a position where you may be able to apply for one of those visas and you want to before that date, please do reach out and we can check your eligibility and we can guide you through that process if you wish. It does give people a second pathway to residence. Otherwise, you know, after that 1st of November date, the skilled migrant category is going to become the preferred pathway to residence. So if you do want that backup plan, a lot of our clients are using it as sort of like a safety net in case they need it. Not everyone does need it, and a lot of the people who are applying for it as a safety net don't need it, but it does obviously give some people a bit of peace of mind to know that there is a second option there for them. So please do reach out if you would like to chat further with us about that. The last thing I would just like to remind everyone of, we are still hearing whispers from several MPs within government that there will be an announcement regarding the skilled migrant category and EOI selections sometime between the start of October and the middle of October. So we're really looking forward to getting that update, and we will absolutely let you know when we have that. That's all I really have to share with you this week. Hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. It's daylight savings here in New Zealand now, so our clocks have gone forward an hour, which means we're getting more sunshine, and it's definitely starting to heat up. So we're all really excited for summer, even though I know some of you will be heading into winter. But yeah, sunny days ahead, and absolutely good news with some of that plan being enacted for the border. So have a great weekend, everyone, and I will be back again next week with some more updates. Bye.